Hey Magic Makers, Mommy Rilla here. Had a spooktacular time at Terror Fest. This is the Diane Salinger panel. I hope you enjoy.
Sure. She's gonna serve up some knowledge. And we're talking about Diane Salinger. Right here, man. Give it up for her.
Thank you so much. Okay. Well, come on and let's just shoot the breeze.
Right.
So, what questions do you have for me? And it doesn't have to be about Paul. It can be about anything.
Well, how about this? Can we start early on? What's the acting bug? You know?
Oh, it started when I was 5. My mother went into the hospital, and my father played all these musicals, and I would sing and dance for him, and that's how I became an actor. It started when I was 5. I know, it's pretty amazing.
So once it starts at 5 and you're going through, did you do like theater and stuff in school? Did you do anything
yes,
outside?
Theater in school, and I went to this. The last 2 years of high school, I went to a school called Waldwood School for Girls, and it was all girls school. And I'm tall, and I have a deep voice, so I played all the boys in the plays.
Oh, really?
Yes, I played a lot of the guy parts. Yes, because I'm tall and I have a deep voice. So, God, in college, I got this part. I went to Barnard, Columbia University, and I got the lead in the school play at Columbia, and that started it. And then someone, I think it was the director, told me I've got to study downtown with these incredible acting teachers, and I started doing that. And some of my teachers are Bobby Lewis, who became head of Yale School of Drama and taught Meryl Streep a lot of what she knows. Uta Hagen, Bobby Lewis, as I said, Stella Adler. I don't know how much you guys are into acting, so I don't know how much you go into that. But I had some of the greatest teachers of the last half of the 20th century. They're passed now, but they were incredible.
So with all of that, that leads into how did it start with film? Getting into that. My goal. I have some. Thank you. My goal was always to become a great actor, not a star, and I wanted to do Broadway. And I had this big agent in New York City, and he said, "Diane, you've got to go to Hollywood." And I said, "No. I want to exercise my muscles, on Broadway and off Broadway." And he said, "Diane, the gym is closed." Meaning, like, there isn't that much that's that great on Broadway. So I went to Hollywood. I was later, I was already 31. And Pee-wee's Big Adventure was one of my first movies. The first one is a movie I hardly ever talk about called Creature. Do you know this movie? Yeah.
It's with Klaus Kinski. That was my first movie. And I was determined to get it. It was my first audition. And I got it. And Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and I worked with Tim Burton twice and Paul Reubens 3 times. The last time only about 4 or 5. I'm going to cry. I didn't sleep last night. The phone kept ringing in the hotel every hour.
Oh, wow.
So, and I've been and flying and everything. So I'm just going to cry. I hope you guys are all right.
It's okay.
I'm going to cry. So, what were we saying? I'm very tired.
Your very first feature film?
It was Creature with Klaus Kinski. And if you were all women, I could tell you some stories that would, but you're not. It's mixed company, so I won't be telling you. But they're quite rude. Think of the rudest things you can say to a woman, and he said this to me and other people. But he was a brilliant actor. Do you know who Klaus Kinski is? Anyone here? And so that was my first introduction. Put it that way. It's challenging.
Thanks.
Yes. So, okay, ask away. Come on, ask away. Oh, you got it.
Yeah. What coming from Creature? You said Pee-wee's Big Adventure was one of your very first.
Yes.
So how did you find out about that movie, and how did you get it and all that good stuff?
Well, I came in for a meeting at Warner Brothers for this casting director who's still wonderful, Mindy Mann.
And she said, Diane, you're not television, you're features. And I'm going to pass your headshot and resume on to this other casting director just down the hall. And the casting director's name was Wally Nacida, who is one of the biggest casting directors in Hollywood. And she said, here, take this. And I went into the bathroom and read it, and it was Simone. And I thought, they're never going to hire me with the way I speak, because I don't look like a waitress, you know what I mean? And so, and I come from this really the snobbiest area of Philadelphia called Chestnut Hill, worse than the main line. It is so snobby, everybody is yummy. Like,
How snobby is it?
no, it's very, everything is yummy. And so I always was a rebel in this society. I didn't fit in. My family didn't fit in. We didn't come in on the Mayflower. You know, we didn't. I refused to have a coming out party. I was like, no, that's not me. So anyway, so what were we saying? What were we just asking?
Going into the how you got the Pee-wee
Oh,
of Simone.
okay. So I went to the bathroom and I thought they're never ever gonna hire me if I sound like this. So I thought, okay, I'll be Southern. Not that there's anything against you guys Southern, but I thought I could be a Southern waitress. So I worked on it that way, and then I got this call that same day, and they said, come on back. Tim Burton and Paul Reubens, the star, want to meet you. So I came back. And I thought, okay, so who's a budding actor here? Who wants to be an actor? Is there anyone? I have that feeling. And you too?
Yes.
Voice
Okay,
acting.
so I'm going to tell you something about auditioning. You go in, and no matter how far apart the first audition is with the callback, you always wear the same outfit. And you have to give a little bit more, something different in the second one. This goes for dancing too, I'm sure.
It does.
So when I went back for the callback to meet, I'd never heard of Tim Burton, he wasn't known yet, and Paul Reubens, I thought, okay, I'm gonna wear the same outfit. But what I did in the audition, and Paul read with me, was I bit his fingers in the audition, and they laughed, but it was way too sexual for the part. They never asked me to do this. But I bit his fingers, and they howled with laughter. And so then I got offered the script, and I was reading the script, and the first scene, you know, and when he's in his house, in Pee-wee's Big Adventure, they had his dog Speck was licking his butt and then licked his mouth. And I thought, oh my God. And I had done 10 years of Shakespeare all around the country. I come from theater, and my favorite is Shakespeare. And I thought, I just don't want to be in a movie where some dog's licking its butt and then somebody's face. I just thought, no, I didn't do 10 years of Shakespeare for this. So I almost turned it down. And I thought, you know, I should probably really take this because I've done like Creature, that's it, in movies. I better take this. So I'm so glad I took it. And it's led to this, you know, 3 movies with Paul, another movie with Tim Burton called Batman Returns. I'm not even supposed to say names of movies because the actors are still on strike. The Flying Rodents, called it. So that's how I got Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and it's my favorite movie I've ever done.
It's a great movie. It's a classic.
Act from the heart.
So when you got the
Follow your dreams. In other words, that is the essence of the movie and that scene with me and Paul and the dinosaur. Follow your dreams. And that's what I write down on a lot of people's autographs. It's really important. And I want all of you to sign up, come upstairs when we're finished, and sign up for my Instagram and Facebook, because I'm going to be giving fireside talks that no one else will be seeing except for my followers. And I would love you to be part of this. And it's about following your dreams.
That's right, man. You guys promise you'll go up there and do that? Yeah?
And get some pictures too. Yes, that's good too. But anyway. I'm very emotional because Paul just passed through. It's very emotional.
Can you tear up too a little?
All right, so ask me more questions. Ask me about Paul or anything you want to know.
Well, I would
What
like
was
to know.
the funniest thing that happened on set? The funniest thing? Any story? What was the funniest? The funniest memory you have?
Well, I don't remember it really being funny. You see, I don't, there are a lot of comedians in Pee-wee's Big Adventure. I'm not a comedian. I'm a serious actor. So, and I did it really, really seriously, for real, you know. And the funniest thing, it wasn't in Pee-wee's Big Adventure, it was in Batman Returns. And Paul and I were teamed up again. It was right after the scandal, which I don't know if you know about that, but yes. And so I think that's why Tim hired Paul and me, because he wanted to get Paul back on the books after that horrible scandal. So the funniest thing was Paul was cracking me up before we began the scene where we turn around and then we're very elegant, the Cobblepots, not like Simone. And we're holding cocktail glasses, and then the cat comes by the cage where we're holding the penguin baby, and then the penguin grabs the cat. And so I'm a very serious actor, and I had prepared, and I knew exactly what I was thinking. You know, sense memory, you guys have to do a sense memory. This is really important to learn for acting. Sense memory. It will separate you from, I'd say, 90% of the actors. You have to learn sense memory. Okay. So, don't be bored, darling. Don't be bored. So anyway, I prepared, and then Paul starts cracking me up. He's a comedian. He's a brilliant actor, but he's a comedian. And he was saying the funniest things. I don't remember what he said, but I couldn't stop laughing. And Tim was about to say, "And action." I'm like, "Shut up, Paul, shut up!" Like that. So that's probably the funniest thing. I'll tell you another story. On Pee-wee's Big Adventure, I came to the set one day when you actually could go to the set, the days you weren't working. Now, and it was the scene with the convict who, P.S., Paul told me this, he actually had been a convict. And he had been Marlon Brando's bodyguard.
Oh.
Oh, really?
And I love Judd Omen is so brilliant in Pee-wee's Big Adventure, the convict. And anyway, he and Paul were in the car, and they were falling. You know, when the car goes off the cliff and they're falling in the dark, and they hug each other, and the convict goes like this, and then they land gently because the hood of the convertible comes up. Anyway, I saw this being shot, and I'm just looking at it as an observer. I'm not acting in it. I'm not going to act that day. And I'm very psychic. I'm very intuitive. And I just went up to Paul and Tim after they would finish the scene, and I said, "Look, you don't know this, but I'm really intuitive. And I have to tell you, this movie is going to be bigger than anybody has any idea." And I think that's at the point when Tim or someone, the first AD or Tim told me that Warner Brothers loved the dailies so much they were putting in several more $1 million into the project than they had even thought of doing. It wasn't budget. The budget, I think, was like $5 million. And then, this means nothing to you, but I've been in LA so long, I know about it. You can't help but learning about profits. But, you know, they put in another probably $5 million just from seeing the dailies, which is, I've never heard of before.
Yeah, that whole movie was just kind of taking chances on him and a brand new director.
And Paul fought to get Tim Burton.
Yeah.
They wanted some big name director, and Paul kept saying, no, no, no. I want this guy who's done almost nothing except for this little tiny movie called Frankie and Weenie.
Freaking Weenie.
And Tim made a special screening for E.G., who played Dottie, and me, just the two of us at Warner Brothers to see Frankie and Weenie. It was very sweet.
That is
Very
sweet.
sweet.
You did a special screening.
That's very
Yeah,
cool.
special screening.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tim is really amazing. Tim is really amazing.
Fully believe that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Does anybody have any questions?
More. This is fun.
Yes. Did they
This
you in the back had a
bug,
question?
bug
I know
likes
it
you
keeps
guys.
hitting me in the face.
Well, take it as a compliment.
Yeah, Buzz, love you. Plus, it's a terror fest. It made you feel. Maybe you're a
Oh my
zombie.
god.
Oh,
Yes. Were you going to say something?
Oh, yeah, so with all the genres you played in, which one did you like and which one did you hate being in?
Well, my favorite is Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and I think of it as a drama, and I know it's hilarious, and I keep seeing it because people keep asking me to do Q&As after the screenings since Paul's death, and I'm doing a charity for cancer in November and so it's my favorite. Follow your dream. Okay, the one I hated the most.
Murder, She Wrote.
How did you know?
I know. Moderator. I know things.
Oh my God, Murder, She Wrote, badly written. I can't stand, I've come from Shakespeare for 10 years. I can't stand shit bad written. I can't stand it. And even, what's the woman who starred in it? Who's so
Angela
precious?
Lansbury.
Angela Lansbury.
Y'all are best friends.
Oh.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Angela Lansbury and I were, like pausing before they were setting up the camera and the tape, and she said to me, "It's not well written, is it?" I said, "No," and it turned out her son wrote it.
Oh, wow.
Yes, nepotism. It was horrible. It was horrible. I think her husband was involved, and all these people, and it was so bad. I get to play a lot of elegant women, and unless there's something more to it than elegant woman, I'd much rather play Simone every day of the week. So yes, I'd say Murder, She Wrote. How did you know that? How did you know this?
I'm good at my job. When some people found out that you were here, we tell them you acted with Paul in 3 different films.
Yeah.
Now they can name Pee-wee and they can name Batman.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know them.
Okay, it's on Netflix still. I think it's still on Netflix.
How would you do
It's called
Pee-wee?
Pee-wee's Big Holiday.
I remember that.
And that is,
I remember Pee-wee's.
that's the most easiest one to see now is Pee-wee's Big Holiday. And, all right, I'm going to tell you a secret.
Everything's not recorded.
Oh, and this is being recorded, and I'm not going to say.
I mean, we can
Stop.
easily edit it out. Would you?
Yeah.
Well, we can back on.
Yeah.
Just now.
Confessions, we're back on.
yeah,
Would you say the same thing for voice acting?
What?
Would you say the same advice for voice
voiceover,
acting?
voiceover acting?
Mhm.
I don't know. I've done it. I've done Skyrim. I did all the female orcs like this,
Oh,
Wow.
I did all the female monsters like this.
Oh, that's cool.
It's so much fun, but that kind of acting I love. That's in movies and TV shows like Queen Bathsheba. Queen Bathsheba commands you. This stuff. That's really fun, but I don't find fun, and everybody's different, so you may find fun, is like new Pepto-Bismol. I'm just not into that.
It's commercials.
Yeah, and I've done many commercials, and I've loved doing them, but there's something about voiceover commercials. It's all about here, like that, and being so.
Super innovative.
It's a waste of time for me. People have made lots and lots of money doing them. All right.
This new movie that you're writing? When can we
I'm not
expect-
writing it.
You're not writing
I'm
it?
acting in it,
You're
yes,
acting.
but I'm writing something else that's a secret.
Oh, wow.
It's about Joan of Arc.
Wow.
Okay,
Not
we like
so
history.
secret anymore. You
Hey,
want to cut that out?
I'm not telling you more than that, but it's that's all I'm gonna say.
Right on. So the movie that you're acting in, can you talk about that a little bit? When can we expect it?
It's really, it's an interesting movie. We shot it in Hoboken, New Jersey. The Dingbat bar is there. I don't know when it's coming out. It's an independent film. I really don't know. It's about two unlikely guys that get together, and it's a really sweet story, and it has wonderful actors. And I'm putting myself out of the equation, but they're wonderful actors in this movie. Really love it.
What's the name of it?
It's called Things Like This, and it's two. You would never put this couple together ever. So that's really sweet. Okay, more questions. This is fun. I'm actually enjoying myself. Yes, Miss Actress here with the blue hair.
Like, I know you said that if your heart isn't really in it, to not go into acting, but with voice acting, what would your suggestion be to get started going into that?
I second that motion.
I never did get started in it. I did a commercial for Payne Weber on camera in New York. I did quite a few commercials in New York, and the line was, "Are you ready?" Thank you, Payne Weber. I love caviar. And for some reason, they made a voiceover of it, I think. And then a couple of these other commercials, I had to do a voice for it. And then I didn't really get into it until I came out here. And how would I get started? I don't know. I think what you do is you get copy together. Make your own copy would be really fun if you have inclination to write. Make your copy, and then you just you practice. And then when you think you've got something really good, I think you just send it out to some voiceover agents. And I'd start here where you guys are, and then if you can put something together. Isn't there somebody maybe in Houston who would coach, like make voiceover demo tapes? You need a demo tape. I never put one together. And people, because I have such a low voice, people would ask me to do like documentaries for them. And I just would do them, and not even get paid or anything. I mean, people, they were friends wanting me to do about their dance company or whatever. I never really pursued it much, but so I'm not the best person to ask. But there are schools in LA that just do voiceovers, and then they make you tapes. And I think some of them are really good. I would go with schools that actually have production companies where they actually audition real actors to do these voices. In other words, that they actually are a production company making the voiceovers for these radio commercials and whatever. And then you get, right in. If they really like you, then you move from the school right into starting to audition. That's what I would do.
Yeah, the same company that puts on TerraFest, puts on KimoKawaii, AnimeCon, and they actually have a session where you can voice over like an original anime. So they'll have you come in, you do your voice for a character, and they premiere it at the very next KimoKawaii. And you guys have people that come out to that as well. So usually that's in May.
So there, I'd start local and also just have a tape recorder. I started collecting commercials from years ago, and I would do them. Put something together, like little sound bits, like "Thank you, Payne Weber, I love caviar." I mean, and Chandon Champagne. I remember practicing with one. So it's that kind of thing. But who here really wants to be a serious actor? Like really a serious actor? Come on, hands up. Come on.
Now you changed your mind after the dog story, huh?
Yeah. Great. Well, this is there's never been a better time for Asian actors. This is, and Latino actors.
I'm not an actor.
This has never been, I mean, look what's happened with the Korean films, you know, that won the Academy Award, Parasite, that did so well. This is the time, and also, what's the one, the something game?
Squid
Game. Yep.
So it's a really good time. And why is this little hand going up and down and up and down and up and down? You know, this one right here. Why? You know, do you want this or not? Yeah. Well, it's as long as it stays something you really love to do, and then get out of it when it doesn't. And you? Yes. Yes.
I used to. I went to college for musical theater. I used to want to be an
I knew that
actor.
about you already. Yes.
Been dancing since 1995. Used to teach it. Did theater, opera, singing. Like I did all three of it. But then I became a teacher and like taught kids. But after seeing all the things that are going on with Hollywood, I'm a little bit terrified to try again.
What are the things going on with Hollywood?
I'm just scared of what they can do to me. That's all. I'm just scared. And that means I probably shouldn't, so that's fine.
Well, I don't think I've changed much. It doesn't have to cheer you up. It doesn't really have to. But you have to, I don't know, have some kind of spirituality, I think.
Yeah.
What else we got? Questions? Got a couple
Come
more.
on,
We got a couple
this
more
is
minutes
fun.
before we have to get out of here.
So I've got a question.
Yes, I can.
So,
yes. Papa.
Yeah, right. So, Pee-wee's Big Adventure was a pretty revolutionary movie
Yeah.
for multiple reasons.
Yeah.
You have the cartoon aspect that Paul Reubens brought to the film, which was like Charlie Chaplin based, you know, which kind of took a break through the 60s, 70s, and then came out when he came around.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
theater.
also a little bit like Jerry Lewis, but Jerry Lewis.
I can see that, yeah.
It's the eternal boy archetype. There have
Yeah.
not been many. It's just Jerry Lewis, as far as I know, in America, and Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was huge, and then you have three aspects of that movie which were like that I took away from it. You've got Paul Reubens' boyish acting, which like changed film in my opinion. Number two, Tim Burton's directing, which it changed everything because he pushed boundaries that no one was doing at the time. And the third was Danny Elfman's music.
Exactly.
And I don't think that a lot of people understand like the platform that what Tim Burton did and that movie launched people's dreams. As me as a child watching that movie, I was like, this is amazing. It just seems like I'm watching a cartoon. So my question is, based on this, is what was it like working with Tim Burton? Because he seems like an extremely serious person in interviews, but his movies are they have a comedy aspect to them, and you're like, this writing is coming out of this very serious person, and you wouldn't expect that, because he's worked with, Johnny Depp, he's worked with Paul, he's worked with you, he's worked with all these comedians, but when you look at him, it's like, are you a funny person yourself? What does
Tim
the
and Paul
comedy
would
aspect?
go off to the side, when we'd be taking a break, and they would crack each other up. And usually it was Paul cracking Tim up, Tim came to my house, my little cottage, because I'm a very serious actor, and I had given him, I said, I have 5 different Southern accents to do.
And you're going to display them for us now?
Yeah, I can do a couple, but yes. So I said, I have 5, and he said, well, and I said, come, I said, I can play them, and he said, well, I'll come to your cottage, and he listened to all 5, and he knew exactly what he wanted, which is the most obvious Southern accent, the one that everybody, no matter where you are in the world, would understand. I was disappointed. I wanted something really, you know, exotic, something exotic, but no, it was like, he had, just recently, you know who Phil Rosenthal is? He produced Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yes.
He has a show on Netflix called Somebody Feed Phil. I think that's the name. And he goes around the world eating. What a job! You know, what a job! And so he's extremely wealthy, and he had me come to the house along with Miss Yvonne, who played the nun in Pee-wee's Big Adventure. And he came and she showed the movie, and then she and I talked. And so there was a huge producer who was in the audience. It was very small. It was like this kind of group. And this big producer had done Beetlejuice, for instance, and he worked with Tim in this movie. And he said, he raised his hand, and he said, so was Tim always, that's his first real movie, was Tim always, did he always knew what he wanted, or was he kind of like not sure? And I said, he always was sure. He knew exactly what he wanted. And he's one of the best kind of directors, because the best directors leave you alone, except when they're going to give you, like I've worked with Clint Eastwood, he never said a word to me except one little thing. The same with Tim Burton. The only thing he said to me in the scene in The Dinosaur was, lower your voice when you say, did you ever have a dream like that? You know, and it was so sexual, and I didn't know. You know, I just was lowering my voice, but it was so vulnerable and sexual. So those are the best directors, and they're very rare. Clint, Tim, Sidney Lumet, there's so few. The worst are the dictators. That, you know, it's nothing to do with you or the scene or the chemistry or anything. That's the worst. But the best, and I don't want you to be discouraged. You must pursue this if you want to. Okay, so what else? Come on, this is fun.
Yeah. We got time for one more question.
Who's gonna
You looks like you have something on your face. Ready? You?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, he asked the question. I was waiting to ask him. He did all that for me. He said everything I wanted to know.
Tim he started off, I think he told me this. He was a graphic artist. And that's why he does these paintings as the storyboards instead of like real, you know.
Yeah, he works for Disney, I think.
I think he did.
Yeah, I believe he worked for Disney.
And he's very quiet. And I saw where he lived in this very old hotel in the valley. And it has a plaque that said Tim Burton stayed in this room. It's very magical. It's you get the feel, and I think he was raised like in Burbank, in the valley. My God, you know. But he's always, I know, when you have that, it's inside you. And he's very quiet.
He looks quiet. Looks like he would be real quiet.
Yeah.
Very quiet.
Well, to end this thing,
and he knew exactly always what he wanted. Guys, it's important to have a vision, whether you're an actor or a director or a writer. It's important. Like, what do you want okay, let's just go around, ask these performers here. And anyone else who wants to act, you know, pipe up too. What do you want to do with the acting? What do you want to give to the world?
I want to eventually make a live-action Nightwing movie.
What?
Whoa,
I want to eventually make a live-action Nightwing movie.
As a director?
Director, writer, and actor.
Star?
Yes.
Fabulous. You see, that's focus. That's excellent. I would like your number. Okay? Be honest. Not that way.
she's like, take it.
No. Go. Because
She gave you the okay, dude.
Right? You better
Okay.
this is really, really good. And a friend of mine who is, you know, she's my age now, but her name, you probably don't know her. She was interviewed on Charlie Rose. She was up for a Pulitzer Prize. Her name's Anna DeVere Smith. And she's black, white, and Chinese.
She sounds beautiful.
And she couldn't get much work. This is many years ago. You're lucky to come now. And she's beautiful in her own, beautiful in her unique way. And she knew she couldn't really make it. She does, you've seen her, but she does these one-woman shows where she took, the best, I've seen only two. The best one is Fires in the Mirror, and I think you can see it maybe on HBO. She plays every single part, and she went around interviewing everybody who was part of this murder that happened in Brooklyn. There was a something Heights murder, Crown, I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, it was horrible. And she interviewed all of these people about it, and in her one-woman show, she becomes each person with the accent, with the body, you know, she does, she's brilliant, but she had to make her own way, and that's why she gets hired, even now, playing regular parts, you know, on TV and movies, is because she's known for this. Make your own work, darlings. And you guys are so lucky because you've got all, woo, listen to me, my darling. You guys have everything at your fingertips. You can make movies just with your cell phone now. And some fabulous movies have been made this way. You have everything it takes. Go out and make your own. Don't wait like a baby bird for the worm. You've got to make your own work. That's why it's fabulous. Okay, you, what do you want to do? What do you want to give as an actor?
I guess more diversity, because, and I say that because there's a lot of actors that I've seen that all look very, I don't know how to say this in a nice way.
You're not offending me, darling. I don't fit into the category.
Well,
anyway.
they all look very normal, I guess. And I say that in the sense that they all tend to have, or not all of them, but a lot of them tend to have natural hair, no piercings, no tattoos, nothing like that. And I guess I want to diversify the field. I have blue hair. I'm planning to get more piercings and tattoos. I want to diversify the field more so people who look more different can easier get into the field, because I feel like they're very excluded because of the way that they look.
That's wonderful. That's really, really good.
All right, we have to break this up because
no, hold on. She's got one more. We have one more.
Honestly, I'm in the same realm as her. I also want to show that you can be racially ambiguous. You can be anything you want to be and still be able to do the things that you see people do on the screen. You don't have to just look a certain way. It doesn't work like that, because not everybody is the same way.
No.
We don't fit in a cookie cutter. That doesn't work like that.
None of us do. That's the secret.
And that's something I want to also push through.
Fabulous. And I have to say, I did a Q&A for the Royal Theater in LA with Pee Wee, and then we did the Q&A just recently since his death. And I turned it on the audience. I said, okay, why do you like Pee Wee's Big Adventure so much? And they said mainly because it was okay to be an outsider.
A rebel.
And the joke is that we're all outsiders. Even those cookie cutter type people, they all feel like outsiders too. That's the joke. But it's like it was okay to be an outsider, and I thought, oh my God, what a great thing Paul gave. So I'm so glad to hear, and you tell them this too. I'm so glad to hear you guys talking about this, of bringing diversity. Good for you. You've got to, I see you also as a writer. Yeah, I do. And you keep dancing, my darling. You have such dancer energy and singer energy. Teaching is not enough for you. It's not enough, is it?
Not anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, man, make sure you make your way upstairs. Visit Diane Salinger. Give it up for her.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to come back for more from TerraFest. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe, ring that notification bell, comment down below, share with a friend. And remember, let it go and keep moving forward. Love you guys. See you next time. Have a magical day. Bye.